entire country through the psychiatric or the pharmaceutical industry, and it's a billion-dollar industry, and it's a very hard industry to fight. However, I think education is the key. Once we educate the masses as to what they're doing to the bodies of our children, then we can come together as a group collectively and stop this madness.
Exactly. I agree with you.
I have in front of me, Reverend, an article from one of the local papers here in New York. It's Newsday, and it's from Friday, May 11th, 2007. And the title of the article is New Mission for the FDA, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the first line, I'll just read the first sentence of this article to you. The Senate moved this week to ramp up Washington's ability to police drugs for damaging side effects in the years after they've been approved for sale.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what do you find wrong with that statement?
Well, this is closing the barn door after the horse is gone.
Exactly.
And this is the way our society works. In 2001, there's a doctor at the University of Illinois named Dr. Samuel Epstein who published several articles on the cancer-causing effects of Ritalin. This is 2007, and thousands of children have been put on this drug despite the fact that the whistle was blown 6 years ago.
That's outrageous. And your son would be alive.
He would definitely be alive today and doing very well had he not been put on these drugs.
Exactly. Or at the very least, if he was taken off of the drugs 6 years ago when they blew the whistle,
absolutely,
he still would have been alive.
His chances of survival would have been much greater.
Yes.
So the drugs are being used as chemical babysitters, basically.
Did you ever consider filing a lawsuit?
I have considered that, but I know that you are aware that I am in the midst of a rally at the Washington Mall on August 18th of this year to respectfully submit to the federal government that we as parents, as people, have a fundamental God-given, constitutionally protected right to raise our children according to our own ethnicities, according to our own cultures, minus the interference from state government.
Exactly.
And this will be a major rally. This rally is taking complete precedence over everything in my life. It will include the medication of our children for profit. It will include the stealing of our babies out of our house by the Child Protective Service agencies and selling them in the adoption market. It will include the judicial system who fails to recognize shared parenting as a viable outlet so that children have a connection with both sides of their biological families because it's profitable for the state to collect child support. So they award children as if they are prizes at the weekend fair to one parent or the other for the sake of collecting child support from the parent who has a higher income. And they are destroying the lives of parents who fall behind in child support by taking away their professional licenses, their driver's licenses, taking away their ways of making money and paying child support and putting them in jail, making felons out of them. Our government is destroying the lives of people because it's simply profitable.
And you know, Reverend, when I'm surely going to be at that rally, I hope everybody else will be there at Washington, D.C. on August, you said the 18th, right?
August 18th.
August 18th of this year, 2007.
Our website, may I give our website? Hello?
Yes, the website is?
The website would be www.dcrally2007.com.
Wonderful.
I advise everyone to go and register and become part because this is our future.
Yes, and also, when I have the opportunity to speak, I'd also like to mention that I have done intense research on this, Reverend. The fact is, when there is a custody dispute, the dysfunctional parent is always getting custody, virtually every single time, no matter what evidence you present. Now, what happened with Kim Basinger and, what's his name?
Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin. I mean, it's clear that this woman has used this child as a thing to get at her own husband during a divorce proceeding. It's very, very clear to anybody with any brains. And here she has this tape marketed all over so all the newscasters could have it. I mean, this is outrageous. And they stopped visits with Alec Baldwin.
Well, what they call this is parental alienation. And it's something that the court system calls junk science. However, my 19-year-old son, who survives, and myself, we have a book that should be out within the next 6 weeks called Cheated. And it's a documented account of parental alienation. Even at my son's funeral, parental alienation ran rampant. Their mother, who took over complete control of putting together the service for his funeral, completely eliminated myself and my side of the family from any parts of the obituary or the services. As a matter of fact, my 88-year-old mother had to find a seat within the crowd because the family seat was taken up by my child's mother's friends and family.
That's a disgusting.
It is an atrocity. And the courts fail to recognize that this syndrome takes place, and you can see it in evidence in the Alec Baldwin and Kim Basinger case.
Well, it's actually, I'm only not agreeing with you about PAS being a legitimate science, but what it really is called is brainwashing and programming of children.
Exactly.
That is legitimate. And this woman has brainwashed this child, so she doesn't even have respect for her own father. And she doesn't even know why she doesn't. A friend of mine recently passed away. He fought for years to try to get his daughter, and his daughter was so disrespectful, treated him so badly. He lost every case in court. He was the good parent. The wife was not the good parent at all. At his funeral, he passed away last year. At his funeral, to our surprise, the daughter showed up. She's now 20, I think she's 23 years old. And she was bawling. And so a friend of mine approached her, who was also a friend of the deceased, and said, you know, your father loved you very, very much. And the bawling was exceedingly, just tears flooding the floor. So what they're doing, this is emotional abuse. What they're doing is when they program these children and brainwash them, at some point they realize they were wrong. And this child is going to live for the rest of her life in pain, never being able to say, you know, Dad, I'm sorry. Because now he's dead.
And it's all relegated to the opposite side, the parent who has control of custody. And the courts themselves could stop this by awarding shared parenting so the children have equal access to both parents, and all of the funding that is put into destroying families should be put into programs that teach divorcing or separating couples how to work together in the best interest of the child.
Well, the court system will never do that because where's the profit? First of all, you have two parents sparring with one another. That creates more income for the judge because you have to keep going back and forth to court.
And the attorneys.
Yeah, and of course the attorneys. I lost my entire life savings. So it's a system. It's a systematic stealing of children, you know, and abusing of this children because the children are suffering because they're with the wrong parent.
Absolutely.
So it's but we're still going to try.
Control room, can we get a shot of our poster board? This poster board, we've been doing programming about the use of these, not so much Ritalin, but the serotonin uptake inhibitors, the so-called antidepressant drugs. And this poster board here contains a lot of resources. If our viewers are interested in further exploring this issue, there are some of the more definitive works on this issue listed on that poster board. Is anybody out there?
No, they're setting up the cameras.
Okay. Another thing I wanted to inject here concerning the issue of